Okay, today we're going to be talking about biots and their different uses, the two different kinds there are. Mainly you have goose biots and you'll have turkey biots. Showing the packs here. I have one each out of the pack. Here is a turkey biot. This is actually the stem. These here are the biots right here. See, these are pretty long. They're very flexible as well, kind of soft. These here you want to use for my dry flies in the size 10s to 14s. Usually anything smaller than a 14, then I'll go to the goose biot. It's kind of more of a curved stem right here. Down at the bottom end of the stem you'll have your longer biots. They're not shorter and more stiffer. Get these good about size 16 to 18. Smaller than that, you maybe stretch at 14, but then I like to use my turkey biots. Up at the top end of the stem you'll have much shorter biots. These here are generally good for your tails and your antennae, your legs on your nymphs, and especially stoneflies. Now when I go to take them off the stem, I do not cut them off. What you want to do is find a section that you like the size, you want to use that size. That you generally run the same, pretty consistent up the stem to a certain point, so when you find the size that you like to use, then you can just keep plucking from there. Usually you take off the end and you just peel it off. It comes right off. If you peel towards the bottom of the stem. What that does is instead of cutting it off, you save that little bit of a tag end right there. Instead of cutting it off maybe around this range, you get that little bit right there, which you want every little bit you can to get your hackle pliers up, especially when you're winding up a dry fly shank. And I just keep peeling off as many as I want to tie. Once again, there's a goose biot, and here would be the turkey biot, where you can easily see the different size range. These turkeys I like for 10s, 12s, and 14s. Anything smaller than that, then I'll go to the goose biot here on my right. These here are a lot more flexible. Goose biots are much stiffer. Okay, right now I'm going to show you how I tie a biot onto the shank and wrap it up the shank for a dry fly body. I have my thread started. I have a nice base layer on the whole shank, and I normally would not use this fire orange thread, but I have it on there for demonstrative purposes so you can see my wraps. Now I have my turkey biot right here, and it has two sides. It has a concave side and it has a convex side. The concave side, the dished out side, we will want pointing towards us. And I'm going to wrap it on the hook shank, on my side of the hook shank. We're going to take it up about the 2/3 point where you normally have a wing, and we start tying it back towards the bend because we want to have a nice tapered body. So we'll tie it in by the tip, and I will softly wrap back. It's not quite as important with these turkey biots, but when you're dealing with goose biots for smaller size, this here's a size 12. If you're dealing with goose biots for a size 16 or 18, which are a little bit more stiffer, you want to make soft wraps back through because you can tear that quill with your thread if you make too heavy of a wrap. Now I have my quills tied into the back where I would normally also have a tail, and I have my thread brought back around just about to the hook point. Now I'll take my hackle pliers, put them on the end of this biot, that end that we saved by tearing it down the stem instead of cutting it off. Now I'll make one wrap over the body, bring it around, straighten it out. Now I'll make the next wrap, and when I bring this next wrap around, it is now in front of my thread, and I have these biot taut towards me. Now I'm going to take the thread and take it around the hook shank so that it is now in front of my biot. Now I'll take a wrap with the biot, bring it around, it's now in front of my thread. Another wrap, the thread, another wrap with the biot. Now I'll continue this the whole way up through. What that does is every time I take a wrap of this biot, it places that thread in there and helps reinforce that body so that it will not come apart. When I get up to the front where I want to normally tie off, just make another thread wrap right there. Take my hackle pliers off the biot, secure it down a little bit, and I can just snip it right off. Smooth it out a little bit. Now I'm ready to tie in a little bit of dubbing and put my wing in. As you can see, you cannot see that thread anywhere at all in that body. It is underneath all of them wraps, reinforcing each and every wrap. No need to apply glue. No need to let it set around and dry afterwards either.